Hello, everyone. I am Amber Carlton with the FM Area Association of Realtors, and today I am joined with Eric, who represents Spare Key, and we just want to talk a little bit about Spare Key, how great of an organization they are, and how important they are, and some different ways that you can get involved to help. Hi, Eric. Thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about Spare Key.
Sure. So Spare Key was founded in 1997 by a South St. Paul, Minnesota family who had a baby boy, their first child. And when he was born, unbeknownst to them, a couple hours later, the surgeons rushed in and grabbed the baby because they found out that he had a heart condition. And so subsequently, the parents had to go through number of hospital stays with this boy who had open heart surgeries. I think he had 4 or 5 of them. And every time there was a major surgery, it was accompanied by weeks and weeks and weeks of hospital stays. And so the parents had to be at the hospital. They couldn't go to work. And so over time, their bills started piling up, in particular their mortgage. And so they were concerned that they would lose their house. And so their family and their friends and their community all came together and said, you focus on your child's care and recovery, and we'll make sure that you don't miss a mortgage payment, that you don't lose your house. So this act of kindness was what really inspired the organization. What set the organization in motion was, unfortunately, their son passed away when he was 2.5 years old. And so their way to pay it forward was to create Spare Key. And so since 1997, when it started, they were able to help 2 families in the first year. And since then, as of today, we've served over 4,000 families with about $4 million in housing and other related financial expenses.
That is so sad and so inspiring, all in the same breath.
Yeah, absolutely.
What a great organization. Okay, and with COVID hitting, times are tough on all nonprofits right now, and you guys are getting really creative to raise some money. What are you doing?
Yeah, so nonprofits are taking a hit just like a lot of folks are taking hits. And so, there's the challenge that we have is that we've got to recognize that people are hurting today that weren't hurting back in March. There's 15 million people who are unemployed today who in March had jobs. And so revenue for us has taken a big nosedive. Every single event that we have that was planned for this year, with the exception of a golf tournament in September, has either been canceled or postponed. And the net impact on us is anywhere from a deficit of $500,000 to $750,000. And so trying to figure out how to make that up in an environment in where you can't bring people to an event, where people are struggling to pay their own bills, much less being asked to give money to a nonprofit, you have to think in a way that isn't just about going and asking people for money. And so June 16th, I was out taking a bike ride and trying to figure out, what can we do to raise money for Spare Key? And so I came on this idea ultimately of taking a raft down the Mississippi River and turning the whole thing into a fundraiser. And so from that idea has really kind of bloomed into what has become a remarkable outpouring of support from people really from all over the country. So on August 27th, I'll get on a raft that my brother, his daughter, my 19-year-old son, and a handful of buddies built. None of them know how to build rafts, right? I'm going to put it in the water in St. Paul, Minnesota, and I'm going to drift down the Mississippi through 10 states, 1,700 miles. It's going to take me about 2 months. And, primarily it's a fundraiser, but at the same time, it's really an opportunity to use this kind of unifying trip, right? You look at the Mississippi River and it goes through the middle of the country. And you can look at it as something that divides the nation, or you can look at it as something that brings us all together, right? So that we gather around the river, and we're calling this trip Hope on the River. And my goal is to take this raft, bring Spare Key down that river, bring hope down the river, and in doing so, hopefully raise some money and be able to keep this nonprofit going into the future.
Oh, that is very inspirational and just so cool. What a cool idea. This is awesome. I can't wait to see it unfold.
Well, we have a website. It's called hopeontheriver.com. And so you can watch the whole trip there. There's going to be an interactive map. If you want to pledge for each mile, you can do that. There's a button on there. And to kind of underscore just how desperate things are for us, we decided to christen the raft the SS Hail Mary. And so this life preserver ring that my daughter made for me, there's two of them will be on the raft, and it's going to be called the SS Hail Mary. And, like I said, I look at the Mississippi, it's a working river. Millions of people depend on it to make a living, to feed the country. And it has been for generations and for decades and centuries a source of power and promise for the country. And so my hope is that what I'm doing is something that could inspire people to find ways to help one another, hopefully be able to introduce people to interesting, remarkable people that I meet along the river, and along the way, hopefully raise some money.
Awesome. I absolutely love it. This is going to be so great. We can't wait to support you and get this video out there. I know Minnesota Realtors, North Dakota Realtors, and South Dakota Realtors give to Spare Key. Why wouldn't we? It's about home. It's about helping and family. Such a great organization. So you did say that there's kind of a new thing that Realtors could text in to donate. Do you want to tell us?
That's right. So we wanted to make it really easy for people. So Perfect. You can use your phone and you can text the word HOME, H-O-M-E, to the number 52,000, and you can donate a quick $20 to Spare Key, and that money will go right on your phone bill. It's not going to go on. You don't have to worry about filling out a credit card or anything like that. So text the word HOME to 52,000, and in a blink of an eye, you can make a donation of $20 to Spare Key.
Perfect. Easy is great. And then you also have something for just the general public too. Correct?
Yeah. So we also have another text to give number. So for it's the word river, and you could do a quick $5 on that as well. So we'd obviously like every realtor in America, particularly in Minnesota, North Dakota, and South Dakota, to text the word HOME to 52,000 and donate a quick $20 to Spare Key.
That's a great challenge. You heard them, you guys, you heard them. Let's do it. We've got almost 1,000 just in Fargo. That would help really.
I will tell you that the realtors in North Dakota and South Dakota and in Minnesota have been remarkably generous to Spare Key. I was sharing with you, we've been fortunate to be able to attend the Realtor Convention of the Dakotas for the last several years. We pass around the Spare Key houses and realtors, and it just a remarkable act of generosity. They stuff these things filled with cash. And by the time we walk out of there, we've raised $30-some thousand at each one of these events. And it's become kind of a tradition. So I was saying that I think only people in America that still write out checks are people in North Dakota and South Dakota. And we have realtors stop at our table the day before we do this, and they'll have their check, and they'll say, I got my check made out to do the donation tomorrow. So it warms our heart. It makes it really meaningful for us to have that relationship with a lot of realtors. And you're right, this program and our mission is very consistent with what realtors do, which is you put people in houses. Our goal is to keep them in their house.
Yeah. What a great cause. Thank you so much for your time, Eric. You guys remember, text HOME if you're a realtor to 5,200. If you're a
52,000.
52,000. Oh my gosh, I almost
3 zeros, 52,000.
52000.
There you go. You got it.
There we go. And if you are just a general public member and you want to give $5, that is awesome too. And text RIVER to 52000.
You got it.
And be on the lookout. We'll put the link to Eric's river journey on the Hail Mary. We'll post that below too, so you guys can follow along with this great story. Thanks, Eric.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.